everyone, it's Sam here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pop-up bag card or just a pop-up platform. It doesn't have to be a gift bag or a little craft caddy as this one is. Now this one I have already shared the Facebook Live where I made this. You can see that on YouTube. It's the whole it's nearly 3 hours if you want to sit and watch me craft live. But I'm going to make another one today, and it's going to be a male theme, so just to give you a bit more inspiration. But if you do want to see exactly this one with all of this colouring, you can watch that one, and I will have it linked in the description box below. This one here, when you open it up, it pops up and you've got this lovely little caddy. It's even got little handles, and it's a craft caddy full of craft supplies. You could have anything in here. It could be flowers, it could be for a wedding card, it could be sports themed. It doesn't have to be a gift bag, it can just be a platform, and then you can build whatever you want from it. You can write your message here. You can make another little card, which I've got here, just a tiny piece of card folded in half, and pop it in there. It's also great for a gift card as well, or you can write your message on the back. The acetate's optional. It's just a 6x6 card blank. I've just taken a portion out and added the acetate, and I'll show you that in the video. So you don't need any specialty dyes for this one, so let's get started. So I've got all of my pieces ready. I'm just going to show you what I've used. I'm going to have a couple of like little wooden planks because it's going to be that kind of workshop DIY card, and I just used the wooden plank from an old stamp set of mine. This was the Perfect Pooches stamp set. For my sentiment, I'm using the bold sentiments, the happy birthday, and then I've got the top bloke, which is going to go inside. And then I've just used a mix of the stamps from these 3 sets here. Most of them are from the Hobbies Galore, and it's all of the tools. You've got quite a lot on this sheet, but I've also taken I don't think I've used that one at all actually, so it's not that one. It's out of the Dress Him Up and Hobbies Galore. The t-shirt, the hat, the glasses, the apron, so I've used it as like a leather work apron, and the watch there as well. For the papers, I've used, and this is the one that I used on the card that I showed at the start, it's the Mosiac tiles. It's just a nice background paper pad to work on, you know, lots of different cards. And then I've also used this blue here, which is from an old one of mine, the Bright and Beautiful backgrounds. So I ran out of craft cards, that's what I wanted to use, or a very light brown. And then I remembered I've got this fabric paper, and there's also a ton of new colours. In fact, got them all here. I need to show these on a What Did I Get video. They're all different colours, and they are fabric paper. You can distress these. You can even put them through the washing machine to really like soften them up, and then you can use them on 3D makes, boxes, gift bags, things like that. But I thought it'd be nice to use for the pop-up element. So they're all under the Creative Craft product range now, but they first came out under Simply Made Crafts. So this is the craft finish. So that's the one I'm using today. As always, everything I use, if it's still available, will be linked below the video. So for my card blank, I've cut myself a piece of 6x8. Along the 8-inch side, I've scored at 6 inches. Now the reason I've done this is because I'm going to have an acetate front like the one I showed you. If you don't want to have that, just have a 6x6 card blank. It might be a shop bought one. If you're cutting it yourself, it's from a piece of 12x6, and you're just going to score at 6 inches. Okay, so it's the same score line no matter what size you're doing. You might just want a little bit of acetate, so then you would make this bit a bit bigger. You may want to have more acetate and maybe just have this as 1 inch. But as long as you've got something to act as a hinge to attach the acetate to. And then I've just covered the whole of that area with the pattern paper, but I've made sure I didn't go over the join. So that's a separate piece of 6x6, and that's a separate piece of 2x6. You can see that lovely mosaic paper there. So it's going to open down like so. My acetate here, I've cut myself a piece of 6x5 and 7/8. I've gone in just a little bit shorter because you are going to pull it up slightly away from that score line, about 1/8 of an inch. We'll get to that in a moment. Then something that I didn't do in the card that I showed at the start is I'm going to add this support inside, which is going to allow me to build up some more, so it just, things are more in the background and more things are in the foreground. So this is optional, you don't need to add this piece. This is 6 by 1.5. Again, the thickness can be anything you want. And along the 6-inch side, I've scored at 1/2 inch, 1 and 1.5, and then at 4.5, 5 and 5.5. Then for the 3 pockets on the front, these are, so you want 3 pieces of 2 3/4 by 1 1/4. And along that long side, you're going to score at 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch and 3/4, and then 2, 2 1/4 and 2.5. And you want to do that 3 times. You may just want to have 2 pockets. You might not want to have any pockets at all. Like I said, it doesn't have to be caddy bag style that I'm doing. To decorate the fronts there, these are 3 pieces of 1 by 1. So I'm just going to stick that one on in a bit. And then I've got these 2 pieces of pattern paper which are going to cover the front and the back of the bag, and they're 4 1/4 by 2 3/4. So for the gift bag or that pop-up structure, this is a piece of 11 1/2 by 3 1/2. Along the long side you're going to score, I'm going to use my metal stylist, I just find it's a bit stronger to score through this craft paper. You're going to score at 1/2 inch, 1 and 1 1/2, and then at 6, 6 1/2 and 7. And then you want to rotate and you're going to score at 1/2 inch all the way down. So then you want to remove, along this long 1/2 inch section, you're going to remove the 3 squares here. Let's just take them right away. And then the 2 squares in the middle. Next you can fold these ones under. And then you're going to concertina fold. If I start this end, so you're going to do a mountain, a valley and a mountain. Okay, and then again a mountain, a valley and a mountain. And this back piece should come all the way around and we'll be able to stick it together. So we've got this pop-up. Before I stick this in, I'm going to open it up. So you've got the 3 sections on your right, and if you're adding this support, I would recommend adding it in now. I've just realised I've done it in white, but the things I'm sticking to it you're not really going to see, and I'm going to have it a little bit further down inside anyway. So you want to concertina fold the sides, so mountain, valley, mountain, again on that side. And I'm going to use my red tape for sticking this and sticking the tabs and all of this to the card, because it's the craft paper. I just think the red tape is going to be, it's just going to be a bit better for speed, because I think my Cloud glue is probably going to take a little bit longer. Now I'm going to bring this down about 1/2 inch and just stick that down like so. So that now just pops up a bit, and then when this comes around, that's going to go in like so. And you'll see I've just got this piece now that I can add things there, and they're just going to pop up a bit more and fill that space. You could add another little small one behind there that's maybe 1/4 inch little concertina side, so it just sits within that section. But it's just a clever way to have that extra space for pop-ups, and it will all still fold down flat. So I'm then going to add my tape on this piece here, and then again just fold it all down, concertina that side, and just lay it down over the top there. You want it to all fold perfectly flat. I mean, there is a little bit with this craft card, it is thick, so I've got a bit of dimension there. This will still go in one of my, I call them my bouncy envelopes. I've got the playlist with those in, so I will share it. Otherwise you can make a nice little box envelope. It's entirely up to you. So when these bits fold down like so, they will push out the box or the bag, whatever it's going to be, like so. So just have those out like so, so you can add your tape or glue. And then before I stick it in, I'm going to decorate the rest of it, because when I made the first one during the live, I stuck it in before adding the pockets, and it was a bit fiddly trying to get everything in. Just need to stick that last one on there in a minute. So you want to stick down these pieces. So I think I'm going to have that one with then the stripes going that way, and then I'll have that one on the back. In terms of writing your message, you can write it on the very back of the card. You can write it on this space here, maybe a little section up here, or you can write it on the back. So whereas I'm adding the blue, you could add a piece of white card there, and then that's where you write your message. So you've got a few options. With these ones, just concertina fold them so they look like this. Add your glue or tape down here, and then you're going to stick them along the bottom. Stick your middle one down first. You might want to just mark the centre with a pencil mark so you can get it lined up, and then stick the other 2 either side. Like I said, you might not be adding pockets, you might just have 2. You might have one longer one. You know, everybody's is going to be slightly different. Okay, so I've stuck everything down. I think they look very cute. I've also just added the eyelets there, just punched the holes. Again, completely optional, but I just want to add a tiny little handle there. So I'm going to stick that down like so. You could just stick the ribbon on the front there if you wanted to and fold it over the sides. But I'm just going to just feed a little bit through and use my hot glue and just stick it behind there. It just needs to kind of tack it in place. There's no pressure or anything on there. Okay, so that's now all ready. We'll do the acetate, and the sentiment goes last because that's going to go on the front. So with this one here, it's going to stick. You want where these join and where this score line is here, it needs to match up with the fold and the score line on your card plank. So I'm just going to take the backing off of that one first and lay the whole thing flat. And get it in the middle of this piece as well. So you're going to bring it just up to the score line. You don't want it to go on it, but just bring it up to the score line. I think that's about centre. And stick that down. Okay, so you can see where it's attached on that half. Okay, again, you can just do a test, bring it up. You can see once the other side sticks down how that's going to pop up. Take the backing off, and now just want to fold that one over. Like I said, you are going to have, you've got the pockets, there is going to be that dimension, but it will all work. And there's your little pop-up. It's so cute. So it's ready now for you to add whatever you want to. Now add you want to be adding the things in the back first, and you want to make sure that when you stick it down it doesn't stick out the top. Now I've got a feeling with this, with the images I'm using, they're all a lot smaller than the ones I used in this card. You can see these, just all of these, like the scoreboard, the craft mat, they're all much bigger images. So the largest ones for me, in fact I'll bring these all in now, is really the t-shirt and the wooden planks. So I'm going to just arrange them because I want them to cover the stitching there as well. I think I'm going to have a couple kind of off to that side like so, and then I might have another one just a bit smaller, not as much of it on show towards the front, so I'll just stick those two for the minute. I've got my hot glue gun, you don't need that at all, but again, because I'm using the craft card and just because I'm making the video, I do like to use a glue gun, plus it's really strong as well. That one's going to slide down behind there. So now I know that that's my highest point, so whatever I stick down now, as long as it's below there or the same, I know it's going to fit inside the card, so I don't need to keep closing it every time. So now I'm just going to carry on adding the rest of my images here. So the t-shirt I might have at the back just to cover that little area, and then I'm going to stick a few bits on that middle section, so like the saw can just be there, so it's just, you can see it just looks a little bit more 3D by having that piece in the middle. And probably have the apron on there as well, and then I'm going to have the tiny little tools like the nuts and the bolts, maybe the glasses just kind of hanging out the side there, but they're going to go in the front little pockets. So I'm going to get this all stuck down. Okay, so I've just stuck everything down. I've added some of the nuts and bolts there. I remembered I've got the sentiment. So the top bloke, I've actually added like a little well, it's a kebab stick, I think, between the two there. And then I put the hat there. You can see little bits of everything, really. I think it looks really, really cute. So now I need to add a bit more weight, and the acetate's going to help pull that down so it will display like so. I think it looks adorable. So with this piece here, you want to stick it onto the front. Just bring it down away from that score line a little bit so it will all line up with the front here and fit in my envelope. I think this is going to end up going in a box envelope. The fabric paper is thick. It doesn't, you can't really burnish it flat, so it does have a lot more bounce to it. So it's not going to be for every project. This is going to still work really nice. I would just, like I said, make a box envelope for this one. Just bring that away from that score line and just line it up along the edge because it's exactly 6 inches. There we go. And then I've just cut a piece of 2x6 in white card, and I've just stamped the happy birthday. And also the nice thing about adding the acetate is it's kind of bit of a lazy way, but I just love using acetate on cards. But it means I don't have to decorate the front of the card because it's done. So that's how it will look in the envelope or the box envelope. And it's just going to naturally, they're going to definitely know what to do. And already now I can feel a lot more weight. You see, it's holding itself down more and more. And what I could always do is add another matte layer onto the back there. Use your construction glue because that dries very, very hard, and it will add weight as well, and that will just pull that down. But you can just keep manipulating that back kind of fold. In fact, what I should have said at the start is that fold there, don't just fold it in half, fold it in half the other way as well. Just kind of break down the fibres a little bit. But I can pull that back quite a bit. You can see there, it's almost laying flat. I think I just will add a couple of mats and layers there. And yeah, it's good to go. You can see with this one here, because this is a cardstock, this folds a lot flatter than that does. Also, I should have said you can do your card like I showed at the start as well, and just have that as a little pocket. It's a nice little gift card section as well, but you can see that one just lies much better. So thank you for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed my little pop-up bag tutorial. Very, very easy to make, and it's just a great platform for you to be able to build whatever it is that you want, whether it's for a wedding card, just a load of flowers and make it as a nice kind of basket. I just think it's going to work for many occasions. All of the product, as always, you can find linked below individually. You can also click just here and that will take you to the website. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel because that way you won't miss out on future videos, and I'll have a pop-up box or just a pop-up playlist coming up next that you might want to watch. See you all again soon. Bye.